Hello and welcome to Dice Jesters. My name is Julie.
And my name is Dave.
And we are a merry and whimsical board gaming podcast where we dive deep into games with curious minds and a jester's grin. We feature 10 by 10 challenges where each season we commit to playing 10 games at least 10 times and sometimes much more. Kind of just depending on how I feel, if I won or not.
Right. That's so factual.
Today we'll be discussing our recent plays of Genotype. But before we get into that, your eyes are telling me, I don't know, you're giggling about something already. What are you giggling about?
I came prepared with a query for the court, and I haven't come with my own in a while, but,
okay.
Recently we played Cellulose. We've played a lot of games relating to biological themes, and then we played Genotype, another scientific game. And I feel like you've probably explained this to me at some point, but you seem like a very scientifically, mathematically minded person. I just want to know, what would you say was your academic strong suit in high school or college?
Eating.
Eating?
No. Okay. My academic strong suit in high school and college or college?
Let's start with high school.
Okay. Art class. Yeah. That was my academic strong suit.
Did you get far in science or math?
So there were different types of math and science. I'm not sure how all high schools run, just because when I kind of talk about like elementary to middle school or whatever, I guess they're different grades here in Oregon than they are in Wisconsin. But the way my school ran was first to sixth grade was elementary school, then 7-8 was middle school, where you went to a completely different school. And then...
Just for 2 grades?
Correct, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then high school was 9th to 12th. So, with that being said, math was set up differently in high school. So it had like pre-algebra, I think, up to geometry. Like it was like pre-algebra, algebra 1, algebra 2, geometry something else, math with whatever. I forgot what the last one was. But I know you're like, oh, you're math brained. But in high school, so I'm dyslexic. And in grade school, math was just not my strong suit at all. And then in middle school, I barely passed math. I only passed because the math teacher that I had to go out on leave to have a baby. And the substitute teacher babied me and just gave me a bigger grade to allow me to pass. So that's the only reason I passed. But then in high school, I was in pre-algebra. And when I was in pre-algebra, I was honestly, I was embarrassed just because my family was being hard on me, because my mom would say, I'm always good at math, blah, blah, blah. And I was just all like, okay, mom. And then she'd hit me with the wheat, because in the Philippines, I don't know, they hit you with wheat yeah, because it's supposed to make you smart. I don't know. Okay. I just got hit with wheat anytime she wanted me to be smarter.
Did she wake you up with hitting you with wheat?
No, I would be ready to go to school and she'd be like, oh, wait. And then I turn around. She's like, come here. And I say, okay. And then she'd have the wheat. She'd say, close your eyes. And I'm like, okay. And then she just hit me in the head with it.
You're welcome.
Like she would like go like this a few times, like maybe, I don't know, 7 times. And then she would pray over me. Oh, it was some weird stuff. Okay, anyway. So then I was in pre-algebra and I was like, oh, wait, I know all of this. And so even though I started in pre-algebra, I did advance quickly. I was able to skip algebra 1. I basically taught the class in pre-algebra. So I was getting good at math, but then I wasn't able to excel any further or whatever. But math and science go hand in hand in high school, because if you wanted to get into physics, you had to have whatever math class or know it to be able to. And I somehow got into normal physics as opposed to pre-physics. And the only reason I wanted to get into it was because I wanted to go to Six Flags. There was a day you could go to Six Flags. And you're going to be like, you wanted to go to Six Flags.
So many follow-up questions, but keep going.
Okay. Well, I wanted to go to Six Flags, and that was the class that I was like, oh, wait, because that became really difficult because it had some weird symbols. And I was like, oh, that looks like pi, but it wasn't pi. And so...
Some weird symbols.
Yeah, like for gravity and stuff. I don't know. Okay. Well, so then...
Wait, hold on. What was the day at Six Flags? What was the prerequisite to get the free tickets?
Like from school?
Well, you said that you were taking these classes so you could go to Six Flags.
Yeah. It was physics.
So the physics class took you to Six Flags?
Yeah, the physics class.
Okay. I thought there was like a free day at Six Flags if you showed that you had taken certain classes or I don't know.
No, but technically the reading courses, I don't know if your Pizza Hut did it, but what? Why are you laughing? So Pizza Hut had this reading program that if you read on it, you would get a free pizza, right? But if you did it for a whole year, you would get tickets to Six Flags.
What a long game. Tickets to Six Flags are like $30.
They were free tickets. Okay, you know my mother. Well, you don't know my mother and that detail because she's no longer that way. But yeah, she would falsify the reading because I never read as a child because it was too difficult for me. So I would get free pizza and Six Flags tickets. But in high school, it was physics class. You had to get a passing grade in physics to go to Six Flags.
Did you go?
Yes.
Is that where your disdain for roller coasters became real?
No, my disdain for them was prior to that. I never liked roller coasters because, okay, well, I had gone to Six Flags for the first time with my real father. And
every sentence you say brings up so many other questions. Side quests.
Well, we were going around and I have 2 older stepsisters that are, so they had left and went on roller coasters and whatnot, and I finally wanted to go on a roller coaster. I'd worked up the courage and I waited in line with them for like an hour and a half, right? I got all the way up there and then they measured me and they said that I couldn't go.
No, so then, they didn't have the measuring stick out front?
This is Wisconsin. Well, no. Anywho, so they didn't have it up front. It was up after you waited in line forever.
Depressing.
And then, so I was crying on the way down because I had to walk down all the steps too. And then I had to walk throughout the line because they wouldn't let me exit because I would have had to cross the roller coaster to get to the exit. So then I had to walk back and I was crying.
The walk of shame.
Yeah. But then I went on a different roller coaster and it was scary. So I just don't like roller coasters. I don't like roller coasters as an adult because I feel like they're going to break and I'm going to die.
I've seen Final Destination.
Right.
Yes. But I love roller coasters. I don't remember how we got on the topic, but...
No, I do. So anyways, I got into physics, not primarily because of my math, but because of my science. I was very good at science. I was top of my class for that. So that's how they kind of let me wiggle in for the most part. So in high school, though, my strong suit was art. I was in all of the art classes my senior year, and I had made all these different things that I was really proud of. I still have a ring or 2 that I made in a pot. I made it wasn't a pot, it was like a bowl thingy.
Oh, I took pottery in high school too.
Were you good at it?
Definitely not.
Oh,
no.
I took metals. Because I thought that we would make stained glass. And then Mr. Roberts was like, well, no, you're going to like metals more. And I was just like, metals is for boys. And he was all like, yeah, but you could do it. Then here I am putting a gash through my arm because I thought you could rip metal in half like paper because it was thin enough. And then I was like, okay. But yeah, so no, in high school it was art. On college, though, I excelled in everything. There was nothing that I didn't excel at. I had a 4.
When you're paying for it, too, it's a little bit different. I will figure out a way to be good at this.
Well, I think what was different, too, was that I didn't have that overwhelming pressure of my peers, really, because college is a bunch of different people whom I've never met before. So to me, they were all strangers for the most part. So I didn't have that, fear of failing because I didn't know them. Like, I would fail, sure, maybe, and then I would never see them again. So... but yeah, in college for both my associates and my bachelor's, I held a 4.0 plus getting student of the program. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, it explains a lot. Every game we play, you seem to know a little bit about something. So it seems like all the classes you took led you to the board games that we play for a reason.
I guess. Well, I also have just different, as you know, for my interest in lots of different things is that I do like learning. So when I happened to get into the college era, I got different certificates, like different licenses or whatever, and then I got different degrees as well. And the reason that I have my bachelor's in the field that I have it in is because I actually started to go as a historian, but I had partnered up with the museum in my local town at the time, and they said that most people never retire in those positions. They're like, this is their life goal. So even though you get your degree and everything, you're still most likely either waiting an additional 10 years and or you'll have to move somewhere where you're needed. And at that time, I wasn't ready to move. So I switched gears and just got a bachelor's in the field I was already in. But I had already been taking history courses to get the historian degree. So that's why I'm like those items as well.
It is a struggle. I at one point thought I wanted a career in the academic world.
Yeah.
That's just my dream. But the reality, those jobs can be hard to get and they need funding and everything. So I ended up in a different career. But
I do feel that our passions shine in board games because you always teach me. So that's academic. You're my teacher of the board games.
That's true.
Yeah. And I'm the random knowledge for you of the board games.
Random knowledge that definitely comes in handy for you.
Does it?
I think so.
Okay. I don't necessarily... Are you talking like board game wise or just life wise?
Well, both. Because in life, in the real world, no matter what situation comes up, you always know a little bit about something to get you through it.
Oh, that's true. Like that recent encounter with the dog.
Correct, which we can circle back to. But and then in the board game world, I would say the fact that you like your brain is predispositioned or pre-wired, I think, to know how to make patterns and connect dots and strategically think through scenarios. Even if you've never played a game before, you can sit down, play it through one time, and usually get good at it pretty quick. And I think, honestly, going through school and becoming good at so many different things lends itself to training your brain to be able to think through different kinds of games that we play, because every game is a little bit different. It stretches your brain in different ways. It could be like spatial reasoning. It could be more mathy. Mm-hmm. It could be connecting things together and comboing and bonuses. And I think that those processes require different types of brain power, and you seem to be good at all different types. So,
well, I think a lot of that has to contribute to being forced to be good at it. And so
we're not talking about how you got here. We're talking about where you are now. So,
I was just saying. And so I think
for better or worse, I appreciate the person that you are today.
Aw, I appreciate you. Did you want to circle back to the dog?
We could, yeah, let's circle back to the dog. It's not a complete Dice-Testers episode unless we talk about an animal encounter. So our animal encounter of the week...
we could have talked about how Lupin denied his food bowl earlier today. He never denies his food. But anywho, yes, let's talk from your POV.
So we were going for a morning walk,
yes.
And there's a little trail by where we live, and we turned a corner to get onto the trail, and here was, it was a Siberian Husky.
But what do you think it was?
I thought, like, honestly, I was still in the brain fog of the morning. I'd just woken up. I thought it was like a wolf, like a dire wolf or something.
The way you were...
I was like, is this a dream? Is this my spirit animal? It kind of felt like that.
It did a little bit.
It looked at us, and I didn't quite sense... Well, the first thing I looked at was behind it to see where is its owner. There's no leash on it or anything. And then that's when I thought that maybe this is a wolf, because... it was just running wild. And
we're in Oregon.
I know we're in Oregon, but you just, I don't know. Again, I was kind of tired. I thought maybe this could be a dream. But then I looked at you and I said, this is a dog, right? And you said, yeah. So then we go to turn away and like walk away. And you're like, oh, don't turn your back to it, because then it's going to freak out and think that you're a threat. You have to you turn around and face it as you walk away.
Yeah, because we don't know if it's a mean dog or a nice dog. And if you turn your back, it'll try to attack you. Which, when you wouldn't have noticed because your back was turned. But right. I was walking, facing it, and it had walked past me. But it went to you, and it even hit your leg a little bit. And I was like, Dave, turn around. And then you turned, and I was like, stop moving, just stop moving. I had grown up around Huskies, and even though a lot of them won't cause harm, if it feels stressed or anything, they are pretty vicious. So I was just like, oh no, I don't want it to attack you. But then I was like, oh no, I wish we would bring it inside. But then I was like, oh no, Lupin. There was lots of oh no's. But yeah, I hope he found his owner.
I know.
So yes, that was my little dorky comment to that. Well, that's the same with bears. Like, when we had gone to the zoo the previous weekend, and there was a black bear, and I was like, see how small they are? And you were like, I still don't want to be up
good.
against a black bear. And I was all like, yeah, but look how tiny it is. You could just go rawr and it'll be fine.
I don't think that a black bear would look cute if you were camping and it approached your tent and you woke up and saw it outside.
Well, then you got some pots and pans and you just get bigger than it.
Well, you don't sleep with pots and pans in your camping tent.
I've never been truly camping. I've never been camping the way y'all do camping here. When y'all describe camping, I'm like, okay, that is like my house in the Philippines. Like, that's how I feel. So I don't know. I don't know what it's like to camp, okay?
Well, I'll take you sometime. Well, we'd have to get quite a bit of gear, so we'll see.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. So, getting into what this podcast is about.
Yes.
If you don't have any more questions, unless you wanted to discuss your strong suit in
My
school.
strong suit?
Yeah.
Well, in high school, it's funny, and I was asking you this question because it pertains to, just thinking about the game that we played, being scientifically minded. In high school, I didn't get very far in math. I think I got to geometry. In terms of science, I took very entry-level chemistry. I had it in my mind, this isn't something that I'm good at. I truly believe that if you tell yourself that you're not good at something, then you'll not be good at that. But if you tell yourself that you're able to do it, then you'll be able to do it. And what I excelled in, though, was English, writing, Spanish. I got really far in Spanish. That was definitely, I would say Spanish was probably my strong suit in high school. But then I was getting, in history too, anything of that sort. And I was getting a little bit tired of the structure of high school and just the drama of that kind of life, and I just wanted to go to college. And where I went to school, there was a program called Running Start where you could go to the community college, take classes there, get high school credit, and you could do that when you were a junior. So in order to do that, though, you had to take a placement test to be approved to go into Running Start and to dictate what kinds of classes you could take. So you had to take 3 tests, one for math, one for English, and then
reading, isn't it?
Reading, yeah.
I think it's separate from English, right?
I can't remember. There were 3 tests I took. So here's the funny story, though. When I don't think I've told you this story. I went to go take it, and I tried really hard at the English one because that's what I thought I was good at. But with the math one, I didn't know how to do any of that math. And I just guessed on every answer. I made a pattern that zigzagged all the way down.
Stop.
Guess which category I passed.
Math.
I passed math and I didn't pass the other 2. So I got into Running Start by not faking because I didn't cheat. I didn't pretend like I knew the answer. I knew I was going to fail. But I passed, and then I got in, and I ended up getting like a 3.8 GPA in college. And I took math, I took some science classes, and then once I was in, I started taking everything. So I was able to take the classes I thought I was good at, like English. I took more Spanish. That's where I was introduced to anthropology. I ended up majoring in anthropology. Down the line, I originally thought I was going to be an English teacher. That's what I wanted to do, but anthropology spoke to me because I love culture, I love traveling, I love history, and so that's what I ended up studying. So it was just funny that what I thought I wasn't good at was what got me into college as a high schooler and then allowed me to progress my college career. So.
Oh, look at you. Okay.
But I loved it. I honestly, if money weren't a thing, if I won the lottery, or when I win the lottery, I'm going back and getting a PhD because I wanted to be a professor in anthropology and get a PhD, but then I was dissuaded based on the landscape of that type of career, what it entailed, and everything I would have to do to get there. It just didn't seem very secure. So, well,
there we go. And then you can tag my education on so I could go be a paleontologist. Thank you.
Exactly.
Why did it take you so long to say exactly?
I thought about going into the fact that paleontology and anthropology are 2 different things.
No, I know. I know they're 2 different things. I'm going to be a paleontologist.
Okay, I have some scarring because anytime I tell people I'm studying anthropology, they go, "Oh, I love dinosaurs." I'm like, it has nothing to do with dinosaurs.
It has nothing to do with dinosaurs. I know what anthropology is. Y'all study me. You study my family in the Philippines.
Yeah. Anthropologists show up and
yeah, they're like, let us view your culture.
Well, in this week's Tales from the Table, we have a newcomer to the court, which is Genotype, the second game that we have played of this series. I don't think it's by the same designer, but we played Cellulose, which I really love. This is by Genius Games. and love that game. And then we had this game as well. So another scientific game. Do you want to try explaining what the game is about? Do you even remember thematically what we're doing in the game?
Yeah, you're collecting beans, right? Or peas? Were they peas or beans?
They were peas.
Okay, why were you staring at me like that? Like you're growing peas.
Yeah, you have a garden of pea plants with different genetic traits, and you're trying to modify those.
Yeah. So, with different genetic traits, you need to get the matching genotrait, right, of the pea in your garden. And how to do that is that on the left side of the communal board, there is the pivot square. Why am I forgetting it? The gene square. What's it called? Why am I blanking on this? It was like my favorite thing in science. But there's different chromosomes on it, correct?
Yes. I'm sorry, I don't remember the terminology.
No, that's okay.
Of the game.
So, well, there's different genes on it. There's the recessive gene and the dominant gene. So there's a capital letter and a lowercase letter. And then depending on the dice roll, it goes into the 2 caps, 2 lowers, or a capital lowercase letter. And that creates the gene of that pea pod in your garden. So what you're trying to do is just basically get as much more peas than your opponent. And you do that through gardening, whether that's raking the garden. Raking allows you to get an extra dice, I believe, in the same turn when you are on the first shift grabbing a dice. And then I don't feel like I'm the best at explaining this. Like, because the board's not in front of the people listing.
It's kind of hard
I have to like point. Okay, so you have your player board. Your player board allows you to plant basically seeds that become a pea plant. To make your pea plant fruitful, you must complete the necessary genes to produce the pea pod.
Oh, I remember they use the term validate in the rulebook. You validate the genes.
Oh, you validate the genes. And to do that, you need to use the community board. On the community board, at the end of each round, you roll the gene dice, and there is a numerical number that directly coincides with the Punnett square.
Punnett square?
Yeah,
yeah.
I literally got it. Okay. And then, so you put those numbers depending on where those go, and you can control the Punnett square by using one of your turns during said round to change the gene makeup. So you can have 2 recessive genes, or you can add 2 dominant genes, or you could take it away and reset it to have a dominant and a recessive. And then with that, after you basically draft the dice. Oh, it's like it's a dice drafting game, isn't it? At its core?
Dice drafting, worker placement.
There we go. Hey, see, this is why I don't explain games, because I like explain things you don't need to know. So, after that, there's the right side of the board where you can purchase another worker. You can purchase another pot to plant another pea in. You can purchase another dice drafting area. You can purchase a person from the monastery. Do they call it a monastery?
Yeah, it's a monastery.
Yeah, and they can help you. The bonuses that they have are actually pretty good, and some of them are, you can use it as many times as you like, some of them is once per round, but they're pretty helpful in the long run. And so there's different actions you could do where you could place your worker, and there's 5 rounds, and at the end of the 5th round, you can harvest regardless of if you have workers or not. It's just a harvesting round, so yeah. And then you count up your points.
Yeah, and you can get points also from the cards that you've completed, but then you can also, I can't remember what the action is called, but you can claim a certain type of trait, and then every card that you have that has that trait on it, you get bonus points for. So it's another way at the end of the game to get points.
Yes, it's very fun. I like it. I like anything with Punnett squares, because like in high school, that was my favorite thing. That was like the only thing I understood. I can't really remember all of it, but I remember understanding it as a child. But this game I thought was really fun. And I personally didn't understand the theme with the monastery. But outside of that, I thought overall it was a pretty tight game. I don't necessarily see any more rounds needed than 5 rounds. I don't know. This is like the other game that we played by Genius Games, where it seems like a lot of either play test had gone into them, or I don't know. It was just a very it was a rounded game.
Yeah, I don't like going into these games. You look at them, and this is no knock on the game whatsoever, but my preconception of educational looking games is not great. Because you think of like you go to like your local museum or something, and any game that they have there is probably not the best game. You know, like it's not designed for gamer gamers. And so I didn't go in with any expectations, and having loved cellulose, I had a little bit more expectations for this. But this is another one where I was like, you know, don't let the theme of it, if you're not, like me, you're not the most scientifically minded person or have the biggest background in science, like don't let that dissuade you from playing the game, because you don't need to know all that stuff. It helps you appreciate those scientific concepts and everything, and in a way it teaches you about them. But the game itself is a pretty straightforward worker placement game with some dice drafting aspects and then some contract fulfillment too, which is essentially what you're doing with those P cards that you get onto your player board. And I've mentioned recently that I'm not the biggest fan of pure contract fulfillment games because they feel circumstantial and they feel a little bit too, I don't know, like just not super exciting to me. But this one felt a little bit different. Like it felt like you had control over completing those contracts, specifically because when the dice get rolled and they go to their respective coordinates, one action you can actually do is modifying the genetic makeup of that specific trait. So you can replace the top portion or the side portion to either be all uppercase or all lowercase. So it increases the likeliness that a certain type will be rolled. So if you have a card with a bunch of the same types of traits, you can actually modify the board to your favor so that they're more likely to come up. But then you can get things like assistance and one-time bonuses with the tool cards to be able to do that a lot more efficiently and get the things that you need. So I feel like the luck of the draw with the contracts themselves wasn't a big deal. But then the other thing that I thought was really cool at the game was the fact that there is this sense of buildup of what you can do. And this is the first time I played a worker placement game where the option to get additional workers was there, but I didn't always take it.
Yeah, I was so shocked. I was just like, wow, I have all of them and you didn't go for one.
Because the game didn't, like, yes, it is helpful to be able to do more actions on the board, but those actions themselves aren't always incredibly useful. They might get you a coin and be able to modify something or give you first access to a certain row that you might need. However, if you save your money, you can this little market board on the side where at the end of the round, you take turns back and forth purchasing things. But then when you purchase something, the cost of that actually goes up. So it's this cool little economic aspect where, let's say you have 2 coins and I have 2 coins and the price of something's at 2. If I buy that, now you can't afford it. So I look at what you might need. But where I'm going with the sense of progression is you can gain additional die slots. You can gain additional spots for more plants. So you become better at doing things and be able to do more each round. So by the time you get to the 5th round, you're collecting quite a bit of stuff or have the ability to do that and then fulfill a lot more contracts in the end. I love that sense of at the beginning, you start being able to do a few things, but then toward the end, you can really expand that and do a lot more. And it makes you feel really smart. And I thought it was interesting that I found a way to do that without requiring me necessarily to get more workers, although the option was there. I felt like there was more I could do beyond that. It made me appreciate stuff outside of the worker placement part of the game.
See, I feel like that description was a little bit better. When I was describing it, though, I didn't realize that it was a dice drafting game until literally right now, this recording. I just kind of played the game. So,
The one thing I will say, too, about the dice drafting, my first impression before playing the game was, wow, there's no scaling for player count. Because every game we've played, like, we just played the White Castle. Mm-hmm. And in that game, there are only 3 dice per color that you use rather than, I think it goes up to 5. I can't remember. But this game is the same number of dice that get rolled for each category, regardless of player count. And I even felt with 2 players, it was a little bit loose. It could have been tightened a little bit, but it wasn't as apparent as I thought. I thought that this game would be way too loose and open with 2 players.
Yeah. Well, I also think that with the dice drafting portion, if nobody changed what the genes were in the Punnett square, I feel that we would end up with like an uppercase, lowercase every single time. There were so many times when I needed both capital ones, right? And I was just like, oh, it's okay because none of us changed it. The probability is, I think there was 5, right? Dice for each category.
So. Yeah.
I was like, the probability is at least 1 out of 5. And you're like, no, the number's a lot different. I'm like, you know what? Quick math. So for that though, I was just like, it'll be fine. And then you would roll them and they would all be the dominant and recessive. I was like, nice.
So then you needed a way to get around that if possible.
Mm-hmm. So then you would, in a way, either have to, I considered it wasting a turn to change it, or you could pay to have it completed during the next round, which was a worker option where you would pay a coin, I believe, to get like a leaf to cover it, or you could pay 2 coins depending on who went there first.
Oh, right.
So it's just kind of how much it's worth to you.
So I had a lot of fun with this. Would you say that this is a keep it to play or trade it away?
I like it. I think I would like it to be resummoned someday. So keep it to play.
Yeah, I don't know if there are any expansions for it or anything, but I agree. This would be fun to come back to. And also would be curious to play with more players if possible to see how tight and restrictive it is with like 3 or 4 players. I can't imagine it. It might feel like really competitive. Maybe we're missing something with 2 players too, where at a higher player count, it will bring out certain feelings in the game that we weren't able to experience this time around.
Yeah, maybe, especially because if there's more people placing, then there's that potential of your spot being taken, forcing you to pick something else, because you and I play so parallel to one another when it comes to these games.
We do.
So maybe I should start taking your spots and see what happens.
Well, bless the shelf. Well, Julie.
Yes.
I really enjoyed our recent play of the White Castle. And you might be wondering, Dave, what's next in our 10 by 10 challenge? What game are you going to present to me? What game have you brought as an offering to the crown? Yeah. Well, I have come prepared with an offering to the crown.
I figured.
And I would like, if you're comfortable, I'd like to read you the backstory from the rule book and then see if it's a game that you like to play, because this is a theme that I haven't seen in a board game, but is one that you and I have talked deeply about.
Deeply, okay.
And so I'm excited to see your reaction.
I'm ready.
Conspire with rivals. Enlighten the world. 1776. Enlightenment era thinking has taken hold across Europe, setting the stage for the modern era. Yet in Bavaria, the Holy Roman Empire reigns supreme, suppressing the dissemination of revolutionary thoughts and ideas. Those wishing to undermine the Holy Roman Empire's authority and enact Enlightenment reforms must do so from the shadows. University of Ingolstadt Professor Adam Weishaupt, aspiring to mold Bavaria to the ideals of the Enlightenment, formed a secret society to make his vision a reality. His society was called the Order of the Illuminati. In this game, players assume the role of Areopagus, a top-ranking disciple of Adam Weishaupt's Order of the Illuminati. You are tasked with accomplishing a series of recruitment plots to extend the reach of the Order and grow its web of sympathizers. Players will compete with each other to gain influence over this growing membership in a bid to accomplish Weishaupt's designs ahead of their rivals and become the highest ranked among the Areopagites. Sorry, some words in there that I don't use in everyday terminology. Your mouth was open that whole time.
It wasn't.
For those of you,
I was smiling when
you have to imagine this because you can't see. Your eyes started glowing. Your mouth went wide.
My mouth was not wide.
I saw this like light beaming out of your head, and then this eyeball appeared right above you, and then a triangle.
Oh my god!
The pyramids.
You're being so dramatic.
What's going through your head right now?
I was laughing. My mouth wasn't open. Technically, I was laughing through my teeth. Okay. I was laughing because I knew it was the Illuminati before you said Illuminati.
Yeah, I don't know why I was pronouncing it like Illuminati.
You were saying because
for emphasis.
Well, there's this cartoon that kind of makes fun of the Illuminati. They say like the Illuminatus, and they pretend that it's the Peanut Man, and he's the Illuminati.
What, really?
Yeah, and that peanut butter is this whole conspiracy theory.
I love a good conspiracy theory.
But anywho, this one's easy because you've been talking about this game so much, and I haven't heard about any other game with Illuminati in it. So obviously, it's PAX Illuminati. Talking? Yes, you have, because I remember, I forgot when you said it. Maybe it was like games we wanted to play, or you and I were just talking, but you had talked about PAX Renaissance. Maybe because we're dice jesters, and I was like, ooh, I want to play a Renaissance game. And then
I'm like, I know the one for you. This is so lighthearted.
Yeah. And then you were like, oh, and then you had told me, oh, they have another game called PAX Illuminati. So here we are. Obviously, it has to be PAX Illuminati. Am I right?
Well, technically, no, because it's called PAX Illuminaten with a T-E-N. So
okay.
The Illuminati are coming after you right now.
Okay, well.
There's an unmarked van sitting right outside. I can see helicopters and everything.
Ew, I don't want to be taken off in a helicopter. You're like, of course you'd have an opinion. I'm like, you know what? Every day's magical, isn't it, David?
But yes, you are correct. And this is a game that, as soon as I found out about it, because I've wanted to get into these PAX games. I've heard about them. I've read about them. I think that we would really be into them because they're known for being insanely interactive with a lot of strategic options and everything. But they're ones that are benefited from repeat plays. Like, you can't just play it once. You need to play it a bunch of times to get a hold of it and everything. This, out of all of them that I've seen, seems to be the most accessible in terms of ease of getting into and stuff. So I think that this might be our good entry point into that world if it's something that we end up enjoying. And then the theme, obviously, when I saw it, I was like, oh, yes, Illuminati stuff. Because you and I love a good conspiracy theory and talking about it and stuff. And this isn't like the cartoony type of conspiracy theory. It's like actually very historically grounded with everything in the card having like historical text on it and everything.
Well, everything that you said in is that prelogue or prologue?
The prologue, yeah.
It was historical based. I was like, oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So I'm also looking forward to learning more about the history of the Illuminati and how it came about during this era of enlightenment in Europe too. So it's a card-based game. It came in a pretty small box, so it seems like it'll be one of those that's like small box but big, like bigger on the inside, like the TARDIS, you know?
Okay.
Call me a Time Lord, but...
Oh my god. Okay, wait, Doctor Who. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I'm excited to get into that, and thank you for playing Genotype with me this week. Of
course. Thank you for learning and teaching me Genotype. Thank you for learning and teaching me every single game. So nice of you. It saves me the trouble, right?
No problem.
Or maybe I should teach you PAX Illuminati.
Well, I've okay. Yeah, I've read the rules.
Well, I'll teach you, I don't know, PAX Renaissance. Then.
Oh, okay. You're going to teach me PAX Renaissance? Okay.
Sure.
Challenge accepted.
Maybe not. Cut this out. Anyway, thank you for that. And then thank you for listening to us this week. Be sure to join us next week as we most likely discuss PAX Illuminati. Is it? Wait, I keep saying it wrong. PAX what?
Illuminaten.
As we discuss PAX Illuminaten. And if you would like to join us on social media, we are on Instagram. Our Instagram is Dice Jesters. You can also email us directly if you like. Our email is thedicejesters@gmail.com. We're also on Patreon under Dice Jesters as well. And as always, be sure to play games with the ones you love.